got to feel like they just cut your heart out, and then you learn from them and you move on. But it can't be, and it's got to be an attention to detail every time. But it's not where I'm going to throw them out with the bathwater. It's a thing that you never want them to forget, but you learn from it and move on.
Do you? Lane was talking a little bit about the depth too, and maybe you do it differently. Maybe if it 2 years ago or 5 years ago, if a guy fumbles, maybe you sit him out for a little bit.
Yeah.
But when you don't have quite the same,
you don't have that depth, but you still try to teach a lesson, and the good thing about you're good young men. They know. It's hard when they don't look in the eye, and you're trying to get them to look in the eye, but they already feel, because it's been a big stress point.
To that end, when those fumbles happen, have you noticed, is it more a sloppy technique thing that happens on the play, or is it more a mental thing that they get complacent?
Well,
what is it?
The one with Silas, that was a good hit, and it was a bad technique. His wrist was low, and the guy had a good hit right on the ball, and it wasn't. And he was trying to get positive yards. Most turnovers, when you have good backs, good guys that are conscientious, it's not because of lack of effort. It's just a little technique, and then they get you in that little split second, and they catch you at the right time. But the one thing about it is it's a very conscientious group.
Yeah, and you've mentioned that before, and we've heard Lane mention that too. Is this exceptional in that regard, of this is a group of kids that are really that special top to bottom? They're different?
It just has to do with the character that we've brought in the last, I think the last 2 years of the Robert Woods, the Hayes Perlard, the guys that are just, they're good guys that, and every alumni around here should be proud of those guys carrying the USC torch.
To that end, when you're recruiting, how much is that becoming more of an emphasis? You're on limited scholarships. You can't afford to miss on anything.
That's always been, it should always be. Not everyone fits in the character mode of USC. And it takes a special person to handle the pressure, handle the environment, and carry on the heritage and tradition of this university. But there's some guys that can do it, and those are the ones that come here and handle it.
I just have a few general questions.
yeah, good to meet you.
Just a few questions about guys whose dads also played at USC. There's, I think,